There's this machine from thousands of years ago.
In Florida.
Just listen.
I'm listening. Okay.
I heard it does these amazing, extraordinary things. Like what?
What?
It makes everything. Anything.
Wait, this
want
isn't the actual. I'm just asking you a question.
possible.
It's a machine. It's we're not doing it yet. It's just a.
Oh, dang. I'm going to answer my question.
Yeah, that guy was like.
Okay. Well, I'm changing from a machine to.
He's having a conversation with himself. Johnson! Oh, man. So, it's the machine that allows you to.
No, okay, not machine.
No.
Ring.
Okay, it's a ring.
Ring.
A special ring.
A special ring.
That does what?
Everything. Anything you want.
It does anything I want.
Anything you want. What's ever in your mind, whatever you want, whatever you need. And it's not majestic at all. But it fulfills your every desire.
Can it be an illusionary ring?
What you mean illusionary?
It basically just messes with your mind whenever you put it on. So you think you're getting everything that you want. In essence, you're just on your couch.
That sucks though.
I mean, it sucks, but if you wanted to, let's say, see a dead relative again, or if you wanted to fly in the sky, you could do so without any repercussions. Like, falling to your death, or having that relative be a zombie and eating your face off.
Well, with these ring grants, your every desire is whatever you want. So, I want this. I don't want it anymore. But it's not just like that. When I say your every desire, I mean like, well, your every desire, but overall, like I was saying before, let's say you wanted to have this power that has never been thought of ever. Something so unique and special that
it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
We have a word for that. Non-existence.
Shut up. You gave me a name. The non-existent ring.
You can go with it.
Works a little bit.
Yeah.
The non-existent ring. The non-existent ring.
Okay, so we have this non-existent ring in Florida. What time of year is it?
This non-existent ring was discovered millennia ago, but my great-great-grandfather once rediscovered it in a cave in St. Pete, Florida. At that moment, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going with that. Okay,
I'm just trying to get the story out of you. You said that it was a non-existent ring in Florida. Maybe locations can be omitted for right now.
Yeah.
But a broad location. So probably like in some place, like in a house or something, like this old rustic house in Florida, up near Jacksonville, or probably a little further.
I like St. Pete. St. Pete sounds historic.
It may sound historic, but come on.
St. Pete.
What's really in St. Pete?
And is it old as that? Nobody. I mean, Jacksonville, Miami. That's so like okay, hey, boom, everybody knows about that. But you say St. Pete, it's like where? In a way.
You know what? Okay, fine. We'll go with St. Pete. Okay, so we have the non-existent ring. St. Pete. What time of year?
2024.
What time of the year?
Oh.
Is it
So hey,
is
what
it
time
cold
of the
outside?
year?
Is it hot outside?
It's the end of summer, the beginning of fall.
Okay, so around the September range. Okay. Is it cold outside or is it still kind of warm?
It's getting cold. It's more of
jacket weather.
Jacket weather, yeah.
Okay. Course of a day? What do you say? It's about maybe just the full day? No.
I'm gonna give.
Where are we? Are we at lunch here? Are we just sitting at the house? Are you discovering this thing in somebody's attic? Or?
It's 7:00 at night.
Okay.
And let's say it's the house down the street that's been abandoned for years.
Okay, abandoned house.
The kid just got home from college.
Okay. College grad.
Meet up with some old friends. Say that. Hey, a couple beers or whatever. Starting off. Hey man. You're at the abandoned house. Abandoned house. You know the one down the street? Yeah, man. No one's been there for years.
Okay. So they're a group of drunk friends. Just got off from a bar. It's a little early for a bar. Let's probably push that to about maybe
11 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. I'm liking 2 o'clock in the morning. They just got off from the bar. It's probably weighing on the main party leader. He's just like, yeah, man, you know, I didn't get really a chance to see Granddad off. Wanted to, you know, maybe we should stop past Granddad's house. Okay. All right. Granddad or great granddad?
Granddad. So at that moment, get home from the bar and everything. Everybody's walking home. Then the main character, starts walking, and in order to get home, you got to walk past his house. So he's a little tipsy or whatever, but he's just walking on his phone and listening to music, and then in the corner of his eye he sees this bright white light.
Well, hold on, because we have them going to the house anyway. The person wants to get into the house.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Okay. I'm gonna go with that one then. Okay.
So they were going into the house. They just wanted to probably, you know, be like, yeah, this place is pretty cool, bro. Do what you gotta do, blah blah blah. You know, the taxi drops them off at the house or whatever. So we can say they don't have a vehicle. They're drunk.
Well, they do, but yeah, they're drunk. So
yeah, so they're just using the taxi or whatever.
So they're walking around the house, you know, checking out the back and everything.
That actually is a pretty good starting point too.
And the front door is locked, so they go around back and everything. Back door is somewhat locked, but it's an old wooden door, the back or whatever. So they pretty much just.
Why wouldn't he go to the front door?
It's locked, and you see a couple kids. Well, not really kids, but you know, graduates or whatever. Front door, a cop come past, or you're in trouble. So why not go around the back?
Interesting. All right. So they're into the house. Now, what is the catching point here? They want to get the ring of non. Well, they come across the ring of non-existence, but
not
why
there.
are they?
Not they.
He has the ring already.
No, you'll see.
Elaborate.
They're all walking through the house. Pretty kind of, man, it's creepy in here. Somewhat cold, you know, and they started hearing noises.
Now, is this a possessed ring? Are we dealing with some ancient sorcerer guy, or are we?
Let me rephrase that. They're walking, and then the main character start hearing noises. And he said, "You guys hear that?" No. Huh. Then continue walking, and then he's like, "You guys seriously don't hear that?" No, dude, you're probably just drunk. Just start laughing, you know, make fun of him a little bit. He said, "Yeah, whatever." So then at that point, you know, he walked away. His friends making him feel in a way, like, well, dang, you know. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna go take a leak. So he ends up going to the bathroom, take a leak, comes out, he calls for his friends, but they're somewhere downstairs, you know. At this point, it's like nobody can hear. They can't hear him. He can't hear them, you know. And then you hear the noises again. So at that point, he's walking down the hall upstairs, goes into a room, and the noise got louder. And he looks around, and he sees this glowing yellow light from under the floorboards. At that point, it's like, what the hell is that? So he turns around, make sure nobody's around, goes in the room, and tries to pull up the floorboard. Can't, of course. So he looks for something, right? Yeah, he looks for something, and it's like, God dang, he can't find anything. So at that point, it's like, then he hears his friends call him. He just then the ring stops glowing. His friends come upstairs. "You good, dude? What's wrong?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. Just lost something." And now, let's get out of here. It's getting creepy. Then they all just leave. Then, you know, they all go home, whatever, sleep and everything. He's in the bed trying to figure out what was that. And then he thinks to himself, he's gonna go back by himself. He's gonna go back, but with his best friend.
Well, hold on, because I was a little interested in just having this as one event. Like this thing happens this night. Now that I'm seeing the group of friends. I'm seeing the main character finding the ring. Luminescence is a thing that people perceive. So if the ring is glowing, is it affecting him in his
It's
mind
choosing
already?
him.
Now be careful with that, because if it's just a ring that is choosing its wearer, then that means that no one else can put on the ring. That locks anyone else from experiencing what this ring entails.
Okay.
Now, do you want that? Because if that's, we can follow that.
I want this. I want the ring to choose people that, let's say, have the same bloodline as him, but he doesn't really realize what his whole family history was all about. Pretty much what I'm looking at.
So what's the origin then?
The origin is, let's pretty much say that years ago, millennia ago, not just years ago, like a long time ago.
Millennia is a long time. That's thousands of years.
Yeah. He had a family origin that was just not origin. That was
wow.
pretty much about purpose and
Can we say that?
they were protectors
Okay.
of light.
Light, you say?
Of light.
Is there a form or malignant force that's made of, and this isn't taken from Destiny in any way, but made of darkness?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. Of light. And then it was, let's say it was this one guy that pretty much turned somebody in his family and pretty much turned evil because he wanted to use all that good power for self-gain, and pretty much he saw a more purpose to the ring, but not in a good way, like, hey, what, we should be kings or whatever, and so let's say the ring can do anything you want, so he had this spell or whatever to make himself live forever. Not really spell, but hey, I will live forever, and he said it, and it was that, and he killed off everybody except for this lady that was pregnant with another kid with and everything, and he knew nothing about her, and from that the offspring just kept going and going and going, but throughout the line nobody else knew about the great power that resides in the family.
So you say that these are a group of, and I use guardians lightly for anyone that may think that Destiny is a backbone of this story, that these protectors of Earth, or of humanity,
of everything that is right,
okay, of everything that is right, they are using this against this other malignant force. I'm assuming that this is a singular force, unless you're talking about another.
Well, they never had a force to go against to. These powers was just. You know what? That's a good question.
Now, you see, the reason that I brought that question up is because if you talk about a ring, right? You're talking about an artifact that was created, whether it was for apparel or for some mage's ultimate death ray thing.
You know what? I think we can get that. Let's say.
Now, hold on, stay with me. Because if you're using this ring and it actually allows the person to grant themselves, or rather grant them the perception of true, whatever they truly desire, then that means that this ring obviously wasn't created for the intent of protecting someone. This was meant to screw with someone's life. Because ultimately, if you get everything that you want, you have nothing else to live for. That in itself is a true form of darkness. And if you think of the darkness, again, lightly using darkness, as a metaphor, the true extent that they're trying to put on the advancement of that darkness would be the protection or the warding away of the trickery that is eternity. And
you just revised my whole idea. Let's say that let's go with what you just said. The rings were actually meant for a dark purpose, for a dark family. And
well, what about not even just a family? What if it was just they were made by the collective? Think back, way back, biblical. I'm talking about we're talking about God and Satan here. We're talking about forces that influence the creations of God. Now, not everyone is a saint and not everyone is a sinner, but everyone is sin. if you are taking these characters, these defenders of everything that is right, everything that is the light, basically, but you pit them against the darkness, which as a metaphor could mean countless waves of enemies, of ideals, of anything, then the creation that was made in the dark somehow found its way into the light by some malignant force in order to twist the light mentality, to change, to change the people who defend the light mentality, and it came forth in the form of these said items. I'm not gonna say what they are just yet, right? But we're talking about one piece that may have been forgotten over the thousands of years that they had tried to defend the world. Now here comes these drunk people. After this one person had died trying to protect the lineage that his family had kept going from centuries and millennia past. They had a bender. He wasn't, let's say your guy wasn't, he wasn't into the family life, so they kind of kept him out to the side. But then after, granddad passed, there wasn't anybody else to pick up the torch. The house went to ruin, foreclosures, all that stuff. But he still knew, as maybe from a child, he probably went over there, that there was this one house, and he went in there, and he's the last of his line, and he's the last of the guardians of that line. So as the last guardian of that particular line, ultimately it falls on him to either be persuaded or to defend against this alluring ring that as soon as he puts on, let's just say that he'll probably have the fight of his life to try to get it off.
Like it.
He's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What happens to the friends?
Friends. Wait, after which part though?
Well, let's say that he's drunk, he uses the bathroom, right? He ends up stumbling across the ring, probably enters the bedroom or some little chamber pops open or whatever, and boom, here's the ring. He's like, oh sweet, dude, this ring is glowing, I gotta show the guys, right? So he stumbles downstairs. Stairs are your worst enemy as a drunk person, by the way, so he's probably gonna fall, which would be hilarious. So he takes a little bit of a tumble, gets up, just like, dang man, freaky stairs, bros, hey bros. So he's like, yo, check this out. They don't see it glowing because it's not calling to them. What happens when he puts on the ring?
Went in front of them or?
Well, in front of them.
Nothing.
I got it. Puts on the ring. Man, I really wish I had ordered those nachos.
Keep going.
Nachos right beside him. Dude, did you see that? What do they see?
They see nothing unless the wearer wants them to see.
So this ring, on top of being manipulative to the wearer, causing the wearer to see the things that they want to see, giving them the perception that that thing is there, that they have gotten what they wanted, can also be allocated to allow those whom the wearer decides to see can actually see what it is that they see.
But it's also a kick into this whole thing. College kid, just graduated. How can you possibly know what is this ring about or whatever? Let's say that there's an apprentice, not in the family, but an apprentice to help whoever has that ring to define them and pretty much teach them everything.
Well, you see, the thing is that the problem with a lot of the stories that go on in Hollywood is that when they're talking about a story, they're talking about its depth. They always tend to have a person come in to show them.
Okay, how about this? Instead of that, let's say the evil force or whatever, this evil person manipulates the kid down the road, manipulates the kid or whatever, and he thinks that this guy's all good or whatever, you know, and he teaches him everything he needs to know. But
I'm liking a female for this.
For what? The where?
For the representation of the darkness. Only because, come on, drunk college guy, he's not gonna pay attention to some old sage on the top of a mountain. He's gonna pay attention to like that hot piece of butt that's walking down the street past him. It's like, hey babe, what's up? It's just like, you know, follow me down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
So this female's, she's guiding him along a little bit, talking about, you know, what this ring does. But this is outside of this fact. Now, back into the actual house, because we haven't resolved this yet. If he's allowing his friends to see this plate of nachos, and they're like, dude, that's freaking awesome, man. It's a plate of nachos. You know, they go to grab it. What happens when they grab it? When they go to try to eat the nachos, do they get the nachos?
Is he allowing them to see the nachos?
Yeah, he's allowing them to see nachos. This, mind you, is only happening because he wants them to see it. This isn't happening because he's just like trying to manipulate them to see it, but it's an impulse because he's already intoxicated. He's not really controlling his mind like that. So he's more leaning on, you know, food and hunger. But mind you, also, when you're drunk, you're not really looking to eat. You're just looking to drink some more. But you can, I mean, most people can say that they can still eat and stuff. So let's say that he's like, yo, bro, cool, look at these nachos, like fresh, bro, who made these, whatever. It's like, dude, give me some. Yeah, man, I'll take one of those. They start eating. But what happens when they take that first bite? Are they actually eating nachos? That's the question.
Yes.
So they're actually eating nachos.
Yeah. And the ring grants whatever you want.
So we're saying that this ring actually physically manifested nachos in front of him.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess I just have a problem with instant teleportation of nachos into a house.
That was your idea. You don't want to
No, I'm saying because I'm more so like the idea of it not being the case, of it just being an illusion. You feel the nachos going down your throat. You taste the cheese as it caresses your taste buds. At the same time, however, you don't see the cat that you're skinning and eating. You don't see that the cheese is actually the cat's blood, and the meat that you're swallowing as you chew ever so elegantly is just cat intestines.
That's a really odd twist.
But we're talking about a dark force. We're not talking about, you know, the ring that grants this drunk guy nachos. We're talking about a ring that was infamous throughout history as being the sole destroyer of civilizations. Back to the Mayans, back to Greece, where masses of people would gather into the courtyards and the temples just to get a glimpse of the god they praised. Imagine if a dark priest had that ring. to allow the masses to see the God that they worship, how much power do you think that priest would have? He would have a lot. Think about a dictator who wants you to see the world through their eyes as some malignant force that's always trying to oppress the weary and weak. If you could show everyone on the TV screen that the U.S. is about to bomb our country, wouldn't you want your people to get up in arms against that threat? How better to do it than to put on a simple ring and show everybody the malignant forces that are against them. Sure, it's not real, but the person in control of that ring perceives it as what they want to perceive it as. It makes everyone else that they deem that they want to see it, makes them see it.
Interesting.
So in essence, they may be looking at an airplane landing at an airfield, but they perceive it as a nuclear missile about to touch the ground. That's more terrifying than anything, especially if you're only like a few hundred feet from it, or a few hundred, or like a mile away from it, or whatever.
That sounds like a ring of deception.
Yeah. But it is definitely called the ring of non-existence, calling its wearer to think up the one thing that will allow it to influence everyone and spread its influence throughout the world, to spread this malignant dark force throughout the world. It's not exactly granting a plate of nachos, but if it can make you believe that it is granting a plate of nachos, then it can also make you believe that you can go down the street and take out all the money in the bank. Everyone else will just be okay with it. You can also make you take over the world. It can also make you accept the darkness into your own heart and make it look like it was like a My Little Pony. Okay. The true test to this, to its manipulation, or a testament to it, or actually a testament to the strength of the defenders from before, is how they were able to resist it. Now, if you want this person to be the one that breaks that cycle, there's that. Or if you want this to be how a dead religion or a dead cult following actually came back from the dust in order to protect the world from this one threat once again.
Think about something. Because at the throughout the story, it needs to be some kind of light.
There needs to be a don't do this, this is stupid. That's what you're saying.
It needs to be something that can turn it all around. Let's say, like, okay, he's into the ring or whatever, the ring is into him. At this point, he knows it's pretty much evil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't care because it's pretty much, the ring is pretty much inside him. You know, the ring is controlling him. He's not controlling the ring. So at that point, it's all for evil, whatever.
You're saying that, would you say that there needed to be another form of defense against him using that ring how he wants to use it?
Yeah.
Well, let's think about the granddad. what did the granddad do to keep it from influencing him?
Locked it up. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, you talking about something else? Oh.
Because if this ring can make anybody, it doesn't matter if you're the strongest believer, if you put that ring on once and you see that plate of nachos, I mean, there's nothing that anybody can really do for you unless there was something or someone or some force, or even if it was just the trait that was in that particular line all along, to have some form of a, hey, get this thing off you right now. If you don't get this thing off you right now, it is going to destroy your soul. Maybe that's the reason why this particular group of individuals throughout history were the only ones that could be near it. Maybe that's why the granddad was sought as cuckoo before he left, because nobody believes in ancient rings and terrible threats of the spiritual kind anymore. The only thing they believe in is Xbox and cell phones.
Okay.
Since this is centuries and centuries past, why not say that this particular line was the line blessed by God, or made through, or maybe not even blessed by God. What if this was the line of Nephilim, the angel demon hybrid children, or the idea of them from what was it, Sodom and Gomorrah, where the people were trying to actually have sex with angels. What if
I don't know.
What if, because of that act, and someone did end up having that instance happen,
Mm-hmm.
based off of the past, their lineage carried on that same, it wasn't like they could throw fireballs and all this other stuff. It's just that they had a high resistance to magical effects. Although dim throughout the centuries, throughout the millennia, it still has a faint presence on the world. So it's like this particular line, they just have this, don't do it, and it may be faint, and it may be, just a feeling, which that's kind of like that's a cop out if you think about it, but at the same time it's not really if it's presented in the story. So if the old man knew that this time was about to be up, and he didn't really have anybody else to handle this artifact, why didn't he just try to destroy it? Maybe it wouldn't have let him destroy it. Maybe if he even touched it or got near it, he would probably say that I don't want to die, or something like that. And then boom, he's perceived himself to be the healthiest person around, probably even ignoring all the pain in his body, to go and fulfill every wish and desire that he wanted, until he actually did die.
Interesting. Intriguing.
I mean, that didn't happen. He obviously died without putting the ring on. So, let's say that he put the ring on, he found out that, wow, this thing gives me plates of nachos that I really want. They end up freaking out in the end, because they see, after they've indulged a little bit, and he's like, yeah, man, I see this ring. He goes to take the ring off, takes the ring off, looks around, and everybody's covered in blood or whatever. What would they be covered in? What would they end up being, fooled into believing that they were eating? Let's make this comical. A mannequin.
A mannequin.
A mannequin. They were eating a mannequin.
eating a mannequin.
Just a plastic mannequin.
That's interesting.
They saw plate of nachos, but in essence, as they were going and picking, they were actually ripping off parts of the mannequin and eating plastic.
Ouch.
Yeah. You can say they also probably have blood on them because they cut their gums up from eating the plastic.
Where did the mannequin come from?
Just in the house. Probably just decoration. It's just sitting there. But to what they see, they just see a plate of nachos on a pillar with lights coming down like eat me. Like a Arby's commercial. We have the meats.
Comical. Okay.
They see that they're eating the plastic after he takes the ring off. What do they do then? Do they leave? Because honestly, in that situation, if I see, yeah, I need to go. They all right, so they up and they leave.
Oh, it's gonna hurt coming out.
But instead of tossing the ring, he takes the ring. End card.
End card.
Well, that's or end title or scene.
Oh, yep. Yeah. You mean like in the?
That's the end of it. All right. Yeah. Sure. That's it. You know.
End of episode.
End of episode.
Okay.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to see more or hear more, then please subscribe to the Backroom Crew for more content. If you do not submit to our will, then we will definitely come and find you. Oh, yes. And also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And again, thank you. My name is Wesley. Remember, enjoy your days, for they are numbered. Peace.
And Tyron.
And Tyron.
What? Yeah, this.
I already stopped it.
Oh, you dick.